let's get started. How are you guys doing? Good? Good morning. Good afternoon? Brunch time? So thanks for sticking with us on day 2. This is the service and ops track, and it's been, if you've been following it, it's been really interesting discussions about the Atlassian suite and service and operations. It's my pleasure to introduce Doug Squires from GetGo. I've had an opportunity to get to know Doug a little bit over the last couple days, and I think you guys are going to be really excited to hear what he has to say about incident management with the Atlassian suite. So one thing I just want to remind you is please ask questions through the app, and if we don't get to them all, you can always accost Doug later out there, or I know that he might be bribed by beers, so yeah. So anyway, without further ado, take it away.
Thank you very much. So I hope everybody has somewhat recovered from last night's event. I do realize that we're getting close to lunch, so we'll try and make this as interesting as possible and get you guys out of here so you can go get some food. So quick agenda for you. I'm going to go through, give you a little history of myself and the business. I'm sure a bunch of you are wondering what GetGo is, so I'll go through that really quickly for you. And then I'm going to take you through the care side, which is where I come from. I'm a senior manager in our customer care department, so I'll take you through that piece, and then a bit about our operations team and how they're using the Atlassian suite, and finally get you some results. Our outcomes is a big word in our organization, so we've got some numbers there for you to show you the impact that we've had by implementing our Atlassian tools. So first up, my name is Doug. I'm senior manager in care department. I've been with the company for 11 years. I actually started in the company as a sales rep. I did that for 3 years. Then I moved over and was managing account managers, and then for the last almost 7 years, I've been on the technical support side. I've held many roles throughout my time with our tech support crew. I've managed the tools that we use, as well as managed teams, and right now I've got a team of 5 managers, about 85 employees that are underneath me. GetGo, most people may be familiar with Citrix. Most people are probably not familiar with GetGo. So we are a division of Citrix that actually started off as a small company in Santa Barbara. It was a professor and a few students who wanted to be the tech support team for the internet. And after starting that business, they realized that it would be really helpful if they had a tool that allowed them to get access to people's computers remotely so that they could help solve their problems. They developed that tool, which became our GoToAssist product, and they went on to realize relatively quickly that that's where the business really was, and started developing the software more intensely. From there, that led to our GoToMyPC product so that other individuals could have access to their computers remotely, and eventually we got to our GoToMeeting product, which became kind of the breakout seller for us, and Citrix purchased us shortly after that. So GetGo is the division of Citrix that is responsible for all of those GetGo or go-to products. So GoToMyPC, GoToMeeting, GoToAssist. So as we've been with Citrix for the past 11 or 12 years, everything's been fine operating as a part of that company. And then recently they've decided to spin us off. It was announced just about a year ago that they were going to spin us off into our own company. And then just recently in July, it was announced that we're actually going to merge with the LogMeIn suite of products. So keep an eye out for the trajectory of that new company. We aren't sure what it's going to be called yet, but GetGo is the division that's going to merge with that new company. So all public information, so don't go out and look to buy any stock yet. It's probably already built in there. So that's that story, and on to Atlassian. So I'm going to share with you today how our journey with the Atlassian products went, and really the way that I've started thinking about it is that we were really looking for point solutions to problems that we had, and as it turned out, most of those solutions ended up being Atlassian products. So, and then in the end, it all kind of comes together to really produce some great results for us. So, I'm going to walk you through that. On the care side, obviously where I came from, or come from, is we're the frontline folks, right? When there's an issue or an incident, we're the folks that are usually hearing about it first and then relaying that information over to our network operations center and our tech ops folks to begin finding what the root cause is and putting that fire out. So the big issue for us, or one of the main reasons that I was introduced to the crew here at Atlassian, or one of the reasons that I'm actually up here speaking with you, is that we were responsible for notifying all of our customers if we were having some sort of incident that was customer facing. So it used to be built on our CRM tool, and it was extremely cumbersome for us to notify and get the information out to a large group of people. So we had up to 25 different areas that we would have to go update each time that we were notifying people if it was a widespread outage for a group of our products. And oftentimes by the time we got the notifications out to everybody, our customers, the incident would already be resolved. So it ended up being frustrating for customers, obviously, because they weren't notified, and when they went to check our status page, it wasn't updated. And then all the way through our organization as well. So my agents were frustrated because they're dealing with high call volume and high wait times. Our managers, all the way up to our execs, the technical operations team is frustrated because we're hammering on them under an extremely stressful situation to get things done. So we went looking for a way to solve that, and the solution that we found was to really simplify and go with the StatusPage product that is now part of the Atlassian family as of July, I believe. So the beauty of using that tool was, one, its simplicity. So really easy for us to get in and update many different people. We would use it both externally, and even our internal folks would subscribe to it to see what was going on whenever we were having an incident. If any of you guys saw Scott's talk yesterday, he was talking about how they've got redundancy built into their email system so that they can get notifications out within 5 minutes. But if anybody goes directly to our page, it's updated automatically, instantaneously. So really a great solution for us. We were able to update it within minutes and have our customers actually be notified of what was going on. You know, the under stress piece, I don't think can be highlighted enough. I'm sure if any of you guys are dealing with outages or incident management, it's hard when you're in those situations, so having a tool that is actually that easy for us to use is huge for us. So moving on, this is a screenshot of our status page. Another thing that was really nice about status page for us is that it was so easy to build that I actually built it myself. I'm not a technical person. I don't have a coding background at all. The toughest part for me was getting the color codes from my marketing team and an image to be able to use there. So after that, we were able to set it up in just a few minutes and roll it out. Just a super easy way for us to go through it. So it was great. So next up, off to the operations side of the house. So while we may be the first responders, our tech ops teams, these are the guys that come in with the big engine and all the fire hoses, and they go figure out where the problem is and go put that problem out. So one of the major issues that they were experiencing is that internal communication was really cumbersome. So you know, we had a chat tool that we were using, we had conferencing tools that we were using, and those types of things, but we were still finding a lot of problems when we were trying to manage an incident. So they went looking for a way to solve that as well. So I think you know, most people are introduced to Atlassian, or a lot of you probably have been introduced to Atlassian through Agile or through Jira, so to support Agile, and that's kind of the foundation for what we needed to do. So we had picked up Jira long time before and had been using it, and it has kind of been the foundation for the other tools that I'll be talking to you about later on. So the next problem that we had was that we needed a ticketing solution for our tech ops team. The tools that we had used in the past were always bastardized from either an engineering tool or a ticketing tool to meet what we needed. And when we went with Service Desk, it was the first time that we had a tool that we didn't need to change and modify in order to meet our needs. So it was the first one that met ITIL standards. And the other thing that was really nice about it is that from the care side of the house, my team was already submitting tickets to Jira, and so it was a really familiar interface, and it was easy for them to pick up and continue to submit tickets to our teams. So really helped us out a ton. Next up, communication. We were finding that there was a lot of friction during those larger incidents, like I'd talked about. So we'd have, we'd launch our incident management program, and we would have people coming in and out of our phone bridges that would need to have information repeated to them. Like I said, it's a really stressful situation, and people are trying to get things solved as quickly as possible. So it was really helpful for us to get all of that information into one place, and that one place for us was HipChat. So we used to have to go to multiple different places to find bug releases and hot fixes, and it just it was really stressful and painful for us getting there. So this is just a quick screen cap of some of the things that we've done with Jira. So a couple of the reasons that we chose it, it was persistent across devices. So if somebody's on their phone, they could still be involved in the communication and be kept up to date. It also required far fewer clicks than other tools, so we were able to get to the information that we needed really quickly. Some of the other aspects that we've integrated in with HipChat that have really helped us out are that we can now approve our releases straight from HipChat, and then we've also got a Bamboo integration that allows us to do automated testing for those changes. So the approvals are really quick and easy, and they're all done from the same tool. Helps us out a ton. So a couple of really nice features that we've got there. So another problem that we had, right? We needed visibility and be able to efficiently find the information that we needed in order to solve an incident. And oftentimes it felt like we were playing Where's Waldo, right? Not the game that you want to be playing when you're in a really stressful situation. So because of that, we were looking for tools that were going to be able to provide us with the information that we needed right at our fingertips whenever we needed to get it. So where we ended up going was to a number of tools from the Atlassian suite, but this number right here looks like a really big number. That's the number of incidents that we experience per quarter and through our tech ops team. So before you guys all pull out your phones and go start canceling your GoToMeeting subscriptions, the vast majority of those are not customer facing, right? These are alerts that come up from a system somewhere to let us know that there is some issue. What we really wanted to be able to do was to get in and solve more of those issues. And by addressing some of those smaller problems, we can head off things that would become customer facing in the future, right? So how do we reduce the friction? We integrated Uber Conference with our HipChat solution. So you may be wondering, don't you guys have an audio solution? And we do. The problem is that if we have an outage with that solution, we can't be using it in order to try and solve one of our problems. So we actually integrated Uber Conference there as a quick voice solution, be able to get everybody on a line quickly. We also developed an internal tool called Watchtower, and I'll show you that here in a sec, but it gives us a timeline of all of our releases. And so, like I was saying, when playing that Where's Waldo game, it's really helpful to be able to go back and look at what's been released recently and be able to click through the ticket really quickly and easily. And it's really helped us narrow down and solve our incidents much faster. And last, HipChat ties that all together, right? It's the tool that enables all this communication, pumps all the information into one place, really makes it really easy and accessible for everybody. So this is a screen cap of our Watchtower tool. So again, it's just a timeline showing all the releases that are going on, and then easily allows us to click in and get some quick information about it and get to the tool or to the ticket that's about that release and helps us solve it that much faster. So really great tool that we've developed internally. So next up, and this is one of the most exciting areas for me, is that we were using Confluence for our engineering team, and I think everybody's probably familiar with the reasons to use it. It's a great place to share information. But one of the key pieces about it is that we started getting access to information on the care side. And if anybody out there does not have their care team having access to the information that they've got in Confluence, I would highly recommend it. So the big story that I want to share about this is that because our care team started using the Atlassian tools that were generally used by our engineering teams, they started speaking the same language. And it really helped us to, one, gain the support and trust of our engineering and our tech ops team. And then also, we started being able to solve some problems on our own. So a group of my level 3 guys, I've been super fortunate to have a team of people that are super dedicated, been with the company for a long time, and really want to, one, learn more for themselves, and then two, help solve problems for our customers. They decided to get together for Hack Week a little over a year ago, and they wanted to build out a tool that enabled them to solve problems so that they didn't have to submit tickets to our engineering team. So they went through that. They developed this tool called Monocle, and it's a platform that they can go in and find information out in Confluence, access our internal APIs, and build tools so that a frontline agent can take a call from a customer, and immediately they can resolve that for that customer. And it saves submitting the ticket to engineering. It saves the engineers from having to work on that ticket so that they can focus on more of the other issues, that 4,000 number. So it's been a huge help for us. I can't stress enough how great it's been having that team in and working on that tool. So next up, results. So on the HipChat side, mainly those are anecdotal, but it's been the one communication medium for us. It's a place where information has always been available for us. And another key piece of this is that the tech ops team has to go through and do root cause analyses at the end of each of our incidents, and they have to bring that information back and disseminate it throughout the organization. And being able to see the timeline and all of the information that goes on through our HipChat logs has really helped them in developing those root cause analysis. Also, you guys remember that 4,000 number. We've found that our solve rate has gone up 13% since we've started using the Atlassian suite and Service Desk specifically. And the beauty of us solving that extra 13% is that 4,000 number continues to go down quarter over quarter for us. So we're getting in and we're reducing the technical debt in our system across the board, and that's really helped us out in keeping our uptime at that 4.9s number that everybody's shooting for. So there's also been a number of other benefits that we've seen from using the suite. So automated ticket creation. We used to spend a lot of time creating tickets and then managing them. And once we moved over to this suite, we've really streamlined that whole process a ton for us. So been super helpful. And then also code change review at the end of it has been helped through these tools as well, and it's really reduced the room for human error. So so again, I can't emphasize enough, one of the big side benefits has been the trust that's been gained between the care team and the tech ops and engineering team, so that we're all working together. You know, in the past, because you're in these really stressful situations when you're going through an incident, it could be really tough to on the relationships between those teams. There tended to be a lot of finger pointing, and we've really been able to improve that relationship. And because of that, everybody works together much more quickly and easily, and we're all speaking the same language, and it's really, really helped. Some of the other big gains that we've seen is that on the care side, in our HipChat instance, we've done a ton of different integrations as well, and they've all been done by folks who aren't necessarily the most technical folks in our organization, right? These aren't developers. This is a care manager who took it upon himself to go out and integrate a number of different tools so that our level 3 team, our highest level care reps, can actually get in and manage their tools as easily as they need to, get information that they need to about an incident that they've created or a ticket that they've created. So again, it's really helped us a ton in solving those types of problems for our customers. So, like I said, the team's all working together. Some of the integrations that that manager was able to put in there are, so we've obviously got StatusPage integrated, Karma, we've got a GoToMeeting integration in there as well, Bitbucket, we've got a CLI connector, we've got Jira, Stash, Ephemeral Rooms, Uber Conference, and then one of the things that we're looking into right now as well is the use of the Bottler tool as a way to go in and create quick and easy, @ commands and keystrokes instead of having to go other places and perform tasks that we're really looking to do. So it's the APIs that really pull everything all together for us, and they're so easy to implement that we don't have to rely on dev cycles from other teams to do it. We can actually do it ourselves on the care side and really get those incidents solved as quickly as possible. So I think that's it for me. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, one sec. So StatusPage, Karma, GoToMeeting, Bitbucket, CLI connector, Jira, Stash, Ephemeral Rooms, and Uber Conference. Sure.
Also, the presentation, the audio for this presentation, along with the slides, will be available online after the conference, so you can grab that. All right, so we have some questions. Well, you just answered this one. With the move to StatusPage, how did you position the move to your clients and in sales?
So for us, on the client side, we actually we worked with the StatusPage folks to migrate all of our subscribers to our other StatusPage to the new one. And I don't recall ever hearing anybody complain about that change. It was just a super simple move for everybody. The sales team actually really liked the move to StatusPage. So because they could subscribe to it and then get updates even more quickly than that, if they were experiencing something, they would go directly to our StatusPage. It really helped them have information at their fingertips so that when they're making a call to a customer, if that question is, hey, I'm trying to get into a GoToMeeting right now and it's not working, that they had the information at their fingertips. One of the other benefits that we saw is that our actual tech ops and NOC team opened another internal StatusPage just to communicate internally things that weren't necessarily going to be public facing. So, we on the care side, we provide that customer facing language, but if there was, more internal jargon and like deeper technical things that we weren't going to share externally, we can now do that internally. So it's been another big win for us.
Okay, great. Do you link incidents to changes? If so, how? Do you want to?
So I've got Nick here, who's one of the guys over in our tech ops team.
Yeah, so we do. Right now, we track changes and incidents both in Jira Service Desk, and we just link them using Jira's link functionality. It's not the slickest way of doing it, but it works for now. Ultimately, with that Watchtower tool, we may be able to do some other kind of fancy things there as well. So that's something that we're discussing.
If you had your time again, what would you do differently?
I mean, the easy one is move to all this stuff sooner. So yeah, our company grew really quickly as I was kind of talking about that GoToMeeting trajectory, and I think because of that, things got a little disjointed, right? We had some teams would go and purchase something to solve one problem, and maybe somebody would purchase something redundant to solve another problem, and I think if we could have gotten to the point where we are now, where our care and engineering and operations teams were working as well as they are now, I think it would have really helped us solve some of the issues that we had seen in the past. So, yeah, I mean, so when I first started off in care, I was one of the guys that ran our incident management from the care side, and we went through a rough patch. We had acquired a company that provided phone service, and it was a tough time for us as a care organization. It wasn't impacting a lot of our customers, or nearly as many of our customers weren't feeling it as tough as I was. And it is night and day now, our relationship with the engineering and tech ops team than it was back then. And a lot of that has to do with the implementation of these things and making sure everybody's working out of the same tools. So.
Awesome. So who on your team is responsible for the status page updates, or what is that responsibility shared?
Yeah, so on my team on the care side, we have a team of 8 managers, and one of them will take the lead on it, and they will either update the status page themselves if they can, or they will assign that out. So we've got a checklist that we've built on another a tool of ours called Podio, and the team will go in there and they will run through the checklist, and part of that is actually assigning out the different tasks that are a part of the incident management process to other managers. We have simplified things so much that I've been able to actually run an outage on my own and be able to update everything that needed to be done. So that's including like our IVRs, so that customers that are calling in get notified via that, the status page. Getting and gathering information for the engineering and tech ops teams is another big piece of it. And then being able to have, like, not having to jump onto a call and be speaking on that call and be conversing with everybody through HipChat has really helped out a ton as well. So.
Have you implemented any automation between StatusPage and Jira, or is StatusPage a manual process? And there's one other part to this. This is related to creating tickets in Jira, or Jira tickets creating incidents in StatusPage.
So actually, Scott talked about that yesterday a bit, that they are working on that. It's on the roadmap, but I would hit up the StatusPage guys to find out about the creating tickets or tickets creating just flipping the status page. They do have some cool integrations right now on status page that you should check out as well. It just depends on what you guys are using internally to do your monitoring, where they can actually pump information directly over to the status page. So it's a pretty slick tool.
Awesome. I think we're going to get through all of these. So moving from your internal chat system to HipChat, did you have any holdouts who didn't embrace HipChat beyond its required usage? How did you respond?
So we still do have holdouts. Citrix, I don't know if everybody's aware of it, pretty tightly integrated with Microsoft and has supported Microsoft throughout their history. So we use Skype for Business internally for chat. It's what's integrated with our Active Directory. I think we have done Active Directory implementation with HipChat as well. No, sorry, we haven't. But the migration has really been for anybody that wants to get in and use that tool and then realizes how great it is. They stick around and you continue to use it. It's without any push from management, it is spread throughout the organization. So,
with a multi-tiered support team, how do you escalate issues from tier 1 to 3 and maintain communication with the reporter/customer?
So oftentimes for us, we're actually, we'll hang up the phone with the customer that we're on, and the level 1 will quickly escalate that. The escalation may happen while they're still on the phone, but oftentimes we're relying on future calls to be able to get that information for us. This is actually an area that we're looking to improve on, and one of the ways that we're going to do that is that we're going to actually implement Service Desk for our level 3 team. And what we're hoping to do, I've spoken with a couple of people on the floor today, is to actually create a Salesforce integration with Jira so that those tickets can be created automatically from the level 1 team and pumped straight into Service Desk, where they can be vetted by the level 3 team and gotten over to the tech ops folks if they need to. So yeah, we aren't quite there yet, but we're working on it.
Great. This is in relation to your 4,000 incidents per quarter. How do you prevent fatigue that can get set in from notifying everyone or notifying people that something is broken?
Right. So those are just internal notifications. So those are just going to our network operations team. I don't know. Can you speak to that anymore, Nick?
Okay, so of those 4,000, obviously not all of them are actually real, right? And so we have a bot which basically runs and it kind of cleans those things up. So if something alerts, it basically hits PagerDuty, creates an incident there. That incident then gets pumped into Jira Service Desk, and then should the incident clear on its own, right? It'll close out in PagerDuty, and then our little integration closes it out in Service Desk. So what it ends up being is, say we have 600 of these alert type things which happen a day. Maybe the NOC has to look at 20 of them or something like that. So it's not as bad as it sounds, basically. So.
Okay, so one more question about StatusPage. What limits are in place to make sure the notification is appropriate for the user base?
We really just rely on the training that we've given our managers on what they can say and how they can say it. We haven't ever had an issue on anything that was inappropriate. We obviously don't include any customer information in there, and we try and be as transparent as we possibly can. It's something that I continue to push for. I really like the no BS Atlassian tenet of their organization. I feel like I absolutely agree with all the things that go on there. So we do try and give as much information to our customers as we possibly can. And you never know. Sometimes they'll come back and give you information on ways you can solve it. So it hasn't been an issue for us so far, and we've just given some pretty light training to our managers on how to message.
All right, I think we've had enough grilling of Doug. Thank you so much. If you guys want to stick around and ask more questions, he'll be here for a little bit. So thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Enjoy the rest of your day.